Hello everyone, my name is Lauren Bullard and I am a LuLaRoe independent fashion retailer. I am 26 and I currently live in Baltimore, Maryland. I have three crazy kids. My oldest is 9, his name is Blake. My middle is 5 and his name is Caden. And then my youngest is a little girl, her name is Aurora. And honestly, I didn't know that her name was a princess name until about maybe a month before she was born, but she is a true princess and she runs this house. They're all very spoiled, but of course, her being the baby and the girl, she just runs the whole household. So, me being young, only 26, my oldest being 9, that means that I was 17 years old and in my senior year of high school when I had my first child. I remember hearing all these things like people saying to me, you'll never graduate or you'll never do anything for yourself or for your family. All these negative things. And I've always been the person who hears certain things and it lights that fire. It's like fuel to my fire and it just makes me want to prove them wrong, which is, it's a pretty good trait. So because I'm just so hard-headed and I don't want to hear what I can do and what I can't do. I especially don't want to hear what I can't do because I'm going to prove you wrong. So I graduated high school, of course. I've always had my son. No one else has ever taken care of any of my kids. And quickly after having him, I worked one job, and then that led to 2 jobs, and then I had 3. And so time goes quickly with kids, let alone having 3 jobs. And I put my family into an apartment and then into a home. I bought my own home when I was 19 years old. When I was 19 years old, and I was doing it. I started working in a hospital. I got my nursing assistant certification, and I have been taking care of and loving taking care of patients since then. A few years ago, of course, about 5, 6 years ago, I found out that I was having my middle son, and then a little over like almost 4 years ago, I found out I was having my daughter. So it's funny because I've always said that I never would have more than one kid, and now I have 3. But our vehicle is now filled, so no more, at least for now. Although I don't anticipate having any more children, but they definitely keep me busy, and it's always chaos in my house. So my oldest is diagnosed with high functioning autism, and he is, very verbal. I remember him being a little over a year old and just seeing things that he would do that was kind of like quirky or a little bit different. And in my heart, I always knew that he was a little bit different than other children, his age. And long story short, we had lots of doctor's appointments in between me working 3 jobs. Some weeks we would go to therapy almost every single day. And so then he was diagnosed with autism, and he's high functioning. I use air quotes because I don't like, saying high or low functioning. He's just diagnosed. He is now aware. He's old enough to know that he has autism and kind of try to understand things. But he is so sweet and so smart and in normal schools and normal classrooms. And I'm so blessed because he can speak to me and tell me his needs and everything. My middle is like the little Tasmanian devil of the family. He is so wild and always into everything. Virtual schooling has been an absolute mess with him because he always wants to move around. I'm sure a lot of other parents totally understand what I'm talking about. And then my daughter is the sweetest little being. She has such a radiant soul. And she does have some medical issues. Also, my daughter has breath holding spells, which leads to seizures. And so I was working 3 jobs up until, I would say, right around probably a little before my daughter was born. And I got kind of tired of doing it. So if anyone has ever burnt out before, you know what that feels like. And if you don't, and if you've never burned out, you don't really know what it is or what it feels like until you're actually experiencing it. And I'd always heard the term burnout, but I didn't understand until just one day I physically, mentally, and emotionally felt like I couldn't do anything anymore. And so 3 jobs went down to 2, and then 2 went to 1. And then I was working 1 full-time job, barely couldn't make ends meet, let alone with two kids and then an oncoming kid. And so changes kind of were made, things were rearranged, and I let my house go and found myself living in my grandmother's home. So my grandmother has passed, but she's always been my rock, and I really couldn't think of anywhere better to raise my kids than under the roof that I have had so many good experiences under. And it's kind of, it's like our house that I had. I lived in a townhome and we still live in a townhome, but with 3 kids and 2 adults, it's always chaos in here. So, but anyway, not about the house. My daughter is amazing and she's so sweet, but I have only been working, I decided to go from full-time down to 3 weekends. And 3 weekends is enough to support my family, which is an amazing thing. Being able to stay home with my kids is like nothing I've ever experienced before. I've always been the one to work and work a lot. And so being able to be home with them and help raise them up and see them every day and spend time with them and actually experience those first little milestones it's such a blessing. And I'm so grateful that I was able and I'm still able to be at home with them as frequently as I am. So up until recently, I was working 3 weekends a month at a local urgent care center, and I absolutely love taking care of patients. I love doing what I do. Most times when I'm there on the weekends, I work 14-hour shifts. And then my daughter, with everything that she goes through, having to go to neurology and having seizures and breath holding spells that lead to seizures and all these things, has kind of, it's affected me wanting to go to work because she is such a mama's girl. So whenever she gets hurt, she runs straight to me, right to me first. So she's 3 now, but she started her breath holding around 6 months. And so she was an itty bitty baby who, I remember the first time it happened, I found her, I'm in my basement right now. I found her in the back room of the basement in the laundry room, just kind of unconscious, laying on the floor. And so I didn't know what was going on because I had never had a kid who held their breath. I had witnessed seizures. My mom had them when I was younger, but I didn't quite understand, how she was unconscious on the ground. And so she was. But it's been, a little over 2.5 years. She's 3 now, but she still unfortunately does have them. And so about I would say about a month and a half ago, she had her longest one. She holds her breath and then loses consciousness and then begins to seize, and then she doesn't breathe. So, I would say just trigger warning. If me talking about this makes you uncomfortable, I would say fast forward through the next minute to minute and a half. Some people may get uncomfortable with me talking about this. So about a month and a half ago, my daughter held her breath on her birthday, and because she didn't get balloons, and so she stopped breathing. And I do this thing where I try to blow in her mouth, or I try to force her to breathe by giving her kind of like a forced respiration. So I seal my mouth and I blow really hard to fill up her lungs, and that didn't work. So she went into a seizure. And she seized for over 10 minutes with no respiration. So I had to give her breaths mouth to mouth. And then at one point when I listened for her heart, I didn't hear it. So I had to give her CPR. And so I pumped on my daughter 30 times and gave her respirations, listened again, and thankfully I heard her heart. With all of that, I felt, and with going through this for the past almost 3 years, it's so uncomfortable having to leave your child. And I don't work like close anymore. I work over an hour away. Sorry. But, at the same time, I have to support my kids. So I started LuLaRoe in June because I have seen the amazing opportunity that it's given my friend and my sponsor now. And I've seen what she's been able to provide for her family. And I've always loved the clothes, and I've always felt confident in the clothes, and I've always felt beautiful. So I knew for years now that I've wanted to do that. But it just so happened to be the right timing recently in June, where I had, the $4.99 to sign up, and with everything else unfolding and my daughter needing to see neurology and, cardiology and having to be monitored and watched and chased around literally every second of the day, I just knew I had to do something. And so LuLaRoe was my answer. It's something I'm passionate about. Being a plus girl, I'm a solid 18-20 jean and a size 2X top. It's something that I have always loved and felt comfortable in. Being a plus girl, it's hard to find clothes that not only fit you, but fit you well and make you look good so that you feel good about yourself. And LuLaRoe has always given me that. It really has. And so when I had the opportunity to sign up in June, I just hit the ground running. I knew it was something that I wanted to do, and I was terrified, but I knew I had to do it. And so now I'm actually returning to work, and I'm petrified. Tomorrow's my day back. I've been on maternity leave for over a month. They gave me 30 days, and I've been with my company for 7 years. They gave me 30 days to spend time with my daughter and get everything sorted out. And I go back 14-hour shift tomorrow. So I'm already a ball of nerves, but I know, I'll get there and things will be fine and the day will go quickly. But LuLaRoe is going and has already given me the opportunity to make some money from home. I think that now having the $4.99 startup deal is absolutely amazing, and it's going to give so many other people the opportunity to sign up and hopefully make changes to their life and their family's life. It's literally, you get 65 pieces, you pick all of your items and all the sizes for $4.99 flat, and you can start selling the day you sign up. So on June 19th of this crazy year, 2020, I signed up, and I literally hit the ground running. I did. So for the first month, which was like all of 2 weeks, I had over $600 in sales. I don't have a huge family. I'm an only child. I have half, brothers and sisters. We talk, but I don't have like a huge family. I don't have a lot of friends. I'm always at home with my kids. So when I thought of signing up, I would think, or if anyone's signing up, I would think that someone who has a lot of friends and family would have tons of support and could hit all their goals because they have so many people wanting to help them. I didn't have that. And so that was my biggest fear with signing up, was I didn't know, how I would hit my goals. I didn't know who I would sell to or any of these things. So my first 2 weeks, I had a little over 600 in sales, which to me was mind-blowing enough. And then the following, ever since, so July, August, September, the past 3 months, I have now cruise qualified every single month. And so what does that mean? So for July, I had to sell 1,000. For August, I had to sell 2,000. And then for September, I had to sell $4,000 in retail. And I don't know how. I know I've been working my butt off. But I have incrementally cruise qualified every single month since starting, and I have bigger and badder goals that I need to beat down this month. These past 4 months have been absolutely amazing. I've grown friendships. I've learned so much, and I am so excited because now I'm already inviting and having someone join my team. She's so sweet, and I'm so excited to see where this journey takes her. And how it helps her and her family. I really think that LuLaRoe is a wonderful opportunity for anyone who can make that investment and who is determined to turn their initial investment into something great for them. Now, I will say that I did start off with the initial investment, and then I, in turn, afterward, also invested a little bit more by placing an extra order. But I have seen girls who take that initial $4.99 with the 65 pieces and flip it and go from there. There's so many different resources that I'm going to get into in later videos. You don't need to have your own personal inventory. You don't need to have a ton of space. I literally work out of this little tiny, maybe 10 by 10 foot corner that I'm in, and it totally works, and I've been hitting my goals. So with LuLaRoe, I know that I'm going to continue to hit my goals or die trying, and I'm just so excited to see honestly where I'm at in a year. I've already been able to give myself and my family certain things that I couldn't give them before because I was only working, say, 3 weekends and on a fixed income. Now I have extra money, and it's so nice to be able to provide for my family but still be at home for them. So in the long run, hopefully by, maybe 6 months, hopefully by my year mark, I'm really hoping to be full-time LuLaRoe, staying at home, have quit my job at the urgent care center, and just doing the darn thing. It's really hard to leave my kids, especially now that I'm used to being home, and also with my daughter having, the issues that she has. It's very hard. So for breath holding, most kids grow out of it by the age 3, and she still has times where, like today, her fingers got caught. They got kind of caught in the door. My middle started to close the door, and her hand was there because she was trying to open the door back up, and she almost went. I had to pick her up and forcefully blow in her mouth to basically force her to inhale. And so that's tough, leaving your kid when you don't know what can happen at any second. And I'm really good with following her around, and my husband's very good, but there's 3 of them, so it's hard to really keep an eye on them, let alone be on her tail at all times. And so it's been amazing. It's been an amazing ride already, only 4 months in, and I just can't wait to see where I go. I'm excited to be growing a team, and there's so many good things coming out that are launching this year. I'm so excited. I'm so happy to finally be a LuLaRoe retailer, and honestly, again, my only regret is not doing it sooner. I wish I would have, but at the same time, I understand, things happen for a reason, and maybe I wasn't ready for it then, or, whatever, but I just want to thank you guys for spending the time to watch my video. If you guys have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. I will absolutely answer them, whether it's personal questions or questions about inventory or retail or sizing or anything. Sign up. I will be posting more and more videos about all different things, not just about signing up. So make sure you hit the subscribe button and turn on your notifications, because you guys will get all the details on all the newest styles coming up, how they fit, what they feel like. They just released the new Deborah top, and I'm so excited. I'm actually wearing her right now. So I will be posting a follow-up video about that right after this one. But seriously, thank you guys for hanging out with me this long and listening to me talk about kind of a little bit of my background and why I decided to sell LuLaRoe. I hope to get to know each and every single one of you. I love making personal connections, and if there's anything ever that I can ever do for you, please don't hesitate to let me know, and I will see you guys next time. Have a good one.